Hey crafters, it's Janet with Crafting It Up in Creations, coming at you today with another inspiration of primitive farmhouse decor. Now these cute flowers, I've seen these several years back in magazines and different things, and I've always wanted to try them. I went out and bought the homespun material and some of the other supplies, and I'm just now getting around to making them. Now, I looked on YouTube for any type of pattern to follow or any advice to follow, and I couldn't find anything. So that's what made me think that this would be a great craft to share with you all. Now, this is the Walmart brand Mainstays metal lids and rings. These just fit the regular size mason jars. And we're going to use a package of these. And of course there's 24 pieces, it's 12, of each. We're going to use some polyfill. Now if you don't have polyfill, you could pull apart cotton balls and use them as well. So anything that you have on hand. And I like to do Dollar Tree crafts, but this is kind of, you can't really buy the material at the Dollar Tree. Unless you can find some really nice probably pillowcases or maybe some of the thinner placemats may work. Or you could use some of the burlap material, and we are going to use some of that as well. Now I cut these sections in about a 1 inch wide to 5 inch long strips. And this homespun material is really fantastic because the print is on both sides and you don't have to worry about front to back. And so when you tie them on, they're all going to look the same. And I do a knot in each of these. And each ring took between 22 to 24 pieces of fabric. I'd like to say they were all 1 by 5, but I'm not that good and I didn't sit there and measure them all out. And I tried not tying them as tight with certain ones, so where if I push the lid into it to see if it would not push the lid in, because the lid kind of pops when you push it through the back, and you'll see that in a little bit, but it really does not matter. And it'll just save you a lot of effort on your part if you just tie it as tight as you can to begin with. And then you just push them all up together. And I would say, honestly, at least 20. Count out at least 24 pieces to go on there. And so we have this, and then you've got the actual front to back. And then we're going to take that lid and push it through the back part. Now I have cut out pieces of this brown material. And these are 4-inch circles that I used with my Sizzix die cut machine. And you can just put them inside without putting the polyfill or even cotton in them, but it doesn't look right. I just thought it looked flat. But you may like that and it might be okay. But I just kind of try to ball it up into as much of a ball as I can and cover the lid. And then shove it through the back part of this. And that little puff just kind of gives it that flowery center look. And there is no time that I made several of these, that I did not bend these lids. But in the end, it doesn't matter because you're not going to see them. But you are going to hear that little pop as it goes through. And then you get this little puffy look to your flower. Now for the back, I didn't really mind as much and make sure that everything was perfect. I just am going to glue that brown piece on the back. Now these are 3/16 inch wooden dowels. This pack of 16 was 96 cents at Walmart. So not bad. And we're going to paint them green so that they kind of look like a stem. And this is Italian sage. I think it looks like a really good homespun type color. And all I do is just paint paint the wooden dowels. Now, as you can see, this paint is pretty old, but it does the trick. And I'm probably going to throw it away soon, but it worked out for this craft. And I like the color of it. You know, it's not too dark, it's not too light, and to me it just kind of looks, you know, primitive. Now, I did use scissors and cut these in half, and it's not going to matter on this because we're going to just use it to stick down into some floral foam. And I just wanted them to be different lengths for these flowers, and to even, you know, stretch my money for my dowel rods as well. And this is some different homespun fabric that I have, and I'm just showing you that it's on each side. So there is some fabric that it's not printed on both sides. And if you use something like that, then you got to worry about which way your flower's facing. This is printed on both sides, but as you can see, it's just a little bit different in between those stars. It's one of my favorite fabrics though. But these, like I say, the homespun fabric, this is from Joann's. You can use a coupon. A lot of times they will put their material even up to 60% off. Even in the past week. Now, this one was not printed on both sides, but I do love this. I love the little stars. But like I say, if you use a coupon, you can get a really good deal on some of their fabric. And this past week they had even an extra 5 off of 30 and 15 off of 75, something like that. And this is like a linen material almost. It's kind of thicker, which is what you really want to have in behind the polyfill because you can't really see it. But I love this material. And then this is a ball mason jar. I painted it with some chalk paint, and I used the folk art chalk paint in Nantucket blue. This is a really pretty blue, and it originally was going to be one of my tissue mason jar holders, but I haven't finished them all yet, and I decided that I would use one of these for my vase. And I really love this blue color. It really ended up being one of my favorite. So there's these two different burlap ribbons, the dark brown and the light brown. And then there's this burlap ribbon with the lace on it. All three of these came from the Dollar Tree. And I decided to kind of mix those. So I went around the perimeter of the jar with the darker brown burlap and then put the light brown with the lace on there. And I did not videotape that, I guess, because I could not find that part. But I did use this Sure Bonder hot glue device, and I'm also going to use it to secure my dowel rods. Now I just kind of pick out what I feel like should be the middle of the flower, and then I'm going to lay that into the hot glue and hold it. And then I'm going to go around the perimeter of the jar, and I just take an extra piece of that burlap type material that I have, or that thick canvas type material, and I'm just going to lay it over top of it because nobody's really going to see the back part of the flower anyway. And that's all I did for this one. Later on, I even decided to stuff some more of the polyfill into the back of it just to kind of give it a more puffy look, but it's really not necessary. Depending on where you have it, you know, you wouldn't even have to worry about that. And then I took some of this floral foam and one of these craft knives. You can get these 3 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. They come in a package of 3, and they work really well. You can break them off each time that you use it. If you use that first blade, and you can snip it off and, you know, get another sharp blade. So I just use this to cut this foam, and I cut a piece off, and then I cut part of that off and glue it together. And you can even kind of mold this a little with your hands. And I'm going to fit this down in the jar, and I'm going to hot glue it to the jar as well, just to hold it in place. And then I'm going to stick those dowel rods down into it. That'll hold my flowers in place. And there's really nothing fancy here. I don't even make it look really good because I'm going to kind of hide the foam itself with some Spanish moss. And I've got different levels in here that's also going to hold those dowel rods. Now this is Spanish moss. You can buy it also at the Dollar Tree, and I just shoved that into the jar underneath of it. And then here's kind of a finished look at what they look like inside. Now this is some trim that I bought. I think it's actually something you can hang up for decoration. But I actually go in and cut off one of these, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the front of this. I thought it just really kind of gave to the look that I was going for, and without the effort. And I've used several of those. I can't even remember where I bought those. But here's a look at the finished project. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If you like these type of videos, make sure you give me some feedback and thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you hit the bell next to it when it pops up, it will notify you each and every time I upload a new video. I've got a few things planned for in the future, and different like craft with me ideas, embellishment boxes, and some more of this kind of DIY decor. So here's the last look again at the finished product. Hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all have time in your day to craft it up. Take care. Bye.